First contact disrupted. The research vessel Stellar Horizon drifted silently through the outer reaches of the Sol system, its quantum sensors probing the unusual electromagnetic patterns that had drawn the Galactic Concordat's attention. Science Director Venza adjusted her crystalline sensory arrays, focusing on the third planet with growing fascination. "Most peculiar," she murmured, her crystalline form shifting through shades of deep blue curiosity. "The electromagnetic emissions are completely chaotic, yet there's an underlying pattern that suggests." "Director," her assistant Krell's voice crackled with urgency across the ship's neural network. "We're detecting anomalous energy signatures from the gas giant ahead. They don't match any known natural phenomena." Venza's crystalline structure flickered with concern as she accessed the sensor feeds. Jupiter loomed before them, its massive form backgrounding a series of strange energy fluctuations that defied conventional physics. According to all known scientific principles, such patterns shouldn't exist naturally. "Full spectrum analysis," she commanded, her voice resonating through the ship's crystalline corridors. "Compare with the Concordat's complete database of known phenomena." The ship's quantum processors hummed as they analyzed the data, but before they could complete their task, something impossible happened. Every system on the stellar horizon simultaneously began to fail. "Engineering reports critical power fluctuations," Krell announced, his crystalline form pulsing with alarm patterns. "Our quantum core is experiencing some kind of recursive feedback loop. It's as if something is rewriting our fundamental operating principles." Venza watched in disbelief as their supposedly fail-safe systems crashed one by one. The Stellar Horizon, one of the most advanced research vessels in the Concordat's fleet, was being systematically disabled by an unknown force that seemed to understand their technology better than they did. "Emergency protocols," she ordered, but even as she spoke, she knew it was futile. Their quantum communication array, capable of instantaneous communication across light years, had gone dark. They were alone, powerless, and drifting in an alien solar system. "Director," Krell's voice had taken on an odd tone. "You need to see this." On their few remaining functional displays, a new signal appeared. It was a tight beam transmission, focused directly at their ship, broadcast on frequencies that shouldn't have been possible for a pre-FTL civilization to access. "Concordat vessel Stellar Horizon." The message began, in perfect galactic standard. "This is Sol System Defense Command. We have detected critical failures in your systems. Prepare for emergency assistance." Before Venza could process this impossibility, new energy signatures bloomed on their sensors. A ship had appeared beside them, seemingly materializing from nowhere. Its design was like nothing in the Concordat database, sleek, angular, and radiating power signatures that defied known physics. "Impossible," Venza whispered, her crystalline form cycling through patterns of shock and disbelief. "They're supposed to be pre-industrial. The monitoring stations show them barely achieving chemical rockets. The human vessel's presence alone shattered centuries of carefully gathered intelligence about Earth's technological development." But what happened next destroyed everything the Concordat thought they knew about the limits of possible technology. A beam of coherent energy enveloped the stellar horizon, but instead of weapons fire, it was something far more sophisticated. Venza felt the ship's systems not just reactivating, but being fundamentally transformed. Their quantum core, moments ago in terminal cascade failure, now hummed with new power and efficiency that exceeded its original specifications. "Stellar Horizon, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel Aegis." A new voice came through their newly enhanced communication systems. "We've stabilized your critical systems and upgraded your quantum shielding to prevent further sabotage attempts. Please be advised that you have entered a restricted zone without proper clearance." Sabotage. Venza's crystalline structure rippled with confusion. "Our systems simply failed." "Your systems were targeted by a quantum virus of Athraxian origin," Captain Chen replied matter-of-factly. "We've been tracking their attempts to destabilize visiting ships for some time. Usually, we intervene more subtly, but your situation became too critical for our usual methods. Venza processed this information with growing amazement. The humans hadn't just saved them. They had casually demonstrated technology that the Concordat had deemed theoretically impossible, and they spoke of the notoriously aggressive Athraxians as if they were a minor nuisance rather than one of the most feared species in known space. "You've been watching us," she realized. "All this time, while we thought we were studying you. Earth hasn't been defenseless for a very long time." "Director Venza," Captain Chen replied, a hint of amusement in her voice. "We simply found it convenient to let the galaxy think otherwise. But recent events have forced us to be more overt in our protective measures." As if to emphasize this point, new sensor contacts appeared around Jupiter. Where moments ago there had been empty space, now dozens of stations and vessels shimmered into view, their stealth systems deactivating to reveal a defense network of staggering sophistication. "Welcome to Sol System, Director," Captain Chen said. "We have much to discuss about the true state of affairs in this sector of space. Your ship's new quantum core configuration will give you a small taste of what humanity has achieved while the galaxy wasn't watching. Shall we begin?" Venza stared at the impossible human vessel floating alongside them, her crystalline mind struggling to process the implications. They had come to study what they thought was a primitive world, only to discover something far more extraordinary. Earth wasn't just advanced, it had somehow leapfrogged past the known limits of science, while the galaxy's greatest minds weren't looking. And as the Aegis escorted them deeper into the solar system, Venza couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of humanity's surprises. The hidden vanguard. The Aegis glided through the space near Mars, its escort mission revealing more impossibilities with each passing moment. Science Director Venza stood in what the humans called their observation deck, though it was unlike any she had seen before. The walls seemed to shift between solid and transparent, offering unobstructed views in any direction while maintaining full structural integrity. Captain Chen gestured toward a seemingly empty region of space. "Watch carefully, Director. You're about to see why the Athraxians' recent attempts at infiltration have been particularly unsuccessful." The space around them shimmered, and Venza's crystalline structure nearly destabilized from shock. A massive installation phased into view, stretching for kilometers across the Martian orbit. It was an intricate web of interconnected platforms and stations, each pulsing with energy signatures that defied conventional physics. "The Helios Network," Chen explained. "One of our earlier defense systems. It's primarily focused on quantum pattern recognition and temporal anomaly detection. Those capabilities alone have stopped 3 attempted invasions this year." "Temporal anomaly detection," Krell interjected, his crystalline form vibrating with scientific curiosity. But the Concordat's best minds proved that temporal manipulation was impossible. Chen smiled. The Concordat's best minds were working with an incomplete understanding of quantum mechanics. Humanity took a different approach. Instead of accepting theoretical limitations, we asked why those limitations existed in the first place. A holographic display materialized in the center of the observation deck, showing a complex mathematical model that made Venza's scientific training scream in protest. The equations suggested relationships between quantum states and temporal mechanics that should have been impossible. "You see," Chen continued, "most species approach faster than light travel as a problem of space. We approached it as a problem of time. Once we understood that time itself was just another quantum state that could be manipulated, everything else fell into place." The display shifted to show a representation of the Sol system, with overlapping fields of influence radiating from Earth and its colonies. Each field operated on different quantum frequencies, creating a defense network that existed simultaneously in multiple temporal states. "The Athraxians' quantum virus was clever," Chen admitted, "but it was designed to work in linear time. Our systems operate on recursive temporal loops. The virus essentially tried to attack its own future and pass simultaneously, causing it to nullify itself." Venza struggled to process these revelations, but the energy requirements for such manipulation would be impossible by conventional standards. Chen finished. That was our first major breakthrough. We discovered that the universe's energy constraints were more flexible than anyone realized. It's not about how much energy you have. It's about when you have it. The Aegis approached another phase-shifted installation, this one orbiting Mars itself. As it became visible, Venza realized it wasn't just a defense platform. It was a temporal research facility. The entire structure existed in a state of quantum flux, its very atoms dancing between different moments in time. Humanity hasn't just been hiding our technological advancement, Chen explained, her voice taking on a more serious tone. We've been actively protecting developing civilizations from species like the Athraxians. The galaxy is full of younger races just beginning to reach for the stars. We refuse to let them face the same predatory behaviors we observed. A new alert chimed through the ship's systems. Chen checked a quantum-linked display that materialized around her arm. Speaking of protection, we're about to have a practical demonstration. 3 Athraxian stealth cruisers just entered the outer system. They're trying to use the confusion of your ship's rescue as cover for a reconnaissance mission. Rather than showing concern, Chen seemed almost amused. Would you like to see why Earth's space is considered increasingly hazardous by hostile species? Before Venzo could respond, the space around them shifted. The Aegis's quantum field expanded, creating a bubble of altered space-time that encompassed their ship and the nearby installation. Through this quantum lens, Venza could suddenly see the approaching Athraxian vessels, their supposedly perfect stealth systems as transparent as crystal. The interesting thing about temporal mechanics, Chen remarked casually, is that when you can observe an object across multiple timeframes simultaneously, stealth becomes meaningless. You can't hide something that exists in past, present, and future at the same time. The Helios network pulsed with new energy, sending out waves of quantum interference that caught the Athraxian ships in a temporal net. The hostile vessels suddenly found themselves trapped in a pocket of distorted space-time, their advanced technology rendered useless by principles that shouldn't have existed. We won't destroy them, Chen assured Venza. Humanity prefers rehabilitation to elimination. Their ships will be temporarily phased back to their point of origin, but the experience will leave their crews with some interesting temporal aftereffects. The next time they try to enter Earth space, they'll find themselves experiencing their defeat before they even arrive. As the Athraxian ships vanished in a display of quantum physics that rewrote the possible, Venza finally understood why humanity had maintained their deception for so long. They hadn't been hiding out of fear. They had been waiting, watching, and preparing to ensure that when they finally revealed themselves, no force in the galaxy could threaten their vision of a protected and nurturing cosmos. The Aegis resumed its course toward Earth, and Venza knew that the report she would send to the Concordat would change everything. Humanity hadn't just surpassed the known limits of science. They had fundamentally altered the rules of existence itself, and they had done it all while the galaxy's most advanced civilizations weren't looking. Secrets of Sol. Earth grew larger in the observation deck's quantum-enhanced view, but it wasn't the Earth that decades of Concordat surveillance had documented. The planet pulsed with layers of energy fields, each operating on different quantum frequencies. Massive structures that had been perfectly hidden now revealed themselves, showing a civilization far beyond anything the galaxy had imagined. Your stealth technology, Venza observed, her crystalline form shifting with deep blues of contemplation. It's not just advanced, it's selective. You chose exactly what to show and what to hide. Perception management, Captain Chen confirmed, bringing up a new holographic display. Every satellite we let the galaxy observe was real. Every primitive radio broadcast was authentic. We simply ensured no one looked deeper. The display showed a timeline of Earth's technological development, but with 2 tracks, the carefully crafted public face and the true path of human advancement. The divergence was staggering. While the galaxy watched us launching chemical rockets, Chen explained, We were already exploring quantum dimensions. While they monitored our primitive satellite networks, we were building temporal defense grids. Every visible step forward concealed 10 hidden leaps. A gentle chime echoed through the ship. Another vessel had appeared alongside them, a massive craft that dwarfed even the Aegis. Its design was organic and flowing, almost liquid in its movement through space. "The Archimedes," Chen said with evident pride. "Our first successful integration of biological and quantum technologies. The ship is partially sentient, capable of adapting its very structure to meet new challenges. We found that mixing organic computational systems with quantum mechanics produces some interesting results." Venza watched in fascination as the Archimedes shifted its form, demonstrating an ability to alter its fundamental structure at will. "But why reveal all this now? You clearly had no difficulty maintaining your deception." Chen's expression grew serious. "Because the galaxy is changing, Director. The Athraxians aren't the only species pushing for expansion through conquest. We've detected 3 other aggressive civilizations preparing for large-scale conflicts. The old balance of power is crumbling." New holographic displays appeared, showing strategic analyses of various galactic powers. Venza recognized the Concordat's own classified military assessments among them, proving just how deeply humanity had penetrated their security. "We've prevented 17 potential interstellar wars in the past decade," Chen continued. "We've redirected countless raids on developing worlds, neutralized weapons of mass destruction, and quietly eliminated technologies too dangerous to exist. But reactive protection isn't enough anymore." The Archimedes projected a massive stellar map, highlighting thousands of emerging civilizations scattered throughout the galaxy. Each one pulsed with different colors, indicating their development stage and potential threats to their survival. "Humanity chose to be guardians," Chen said softly. "Not conquerors, not rulers, but protectors. We developed our technology with one goal: to ensure that every species gets the chance to reach for the stars without being destroyed or enslaved by those who came before." Krell's crystalline form flickered with sudden understanding. "The quantum virus that attacked our ship, you let it happen. We let it progress just far enough to justify direct intervention," Chen acknowledged. "Your ship's presence provided the perfect opportunity to begin our emergence. The Concordat needs to understand what they're truly facing with the Athraxians and others like them." The Aegis passed through one of Earth's quantum defense layers, and Venza felt the ship's systems seamlessly integrate with the planetary network. The level of technological sophistication was breathtaking. Entire layers of reality being manipulated with casual ease. "Your mission was to study primitive humans," Chen said with a slight smile. "Instead, you'll be the first to document something far more significant. Humanity isn't just revealing our advancement. We're offering an alliance." The Archimedes shifted again, its fluid form creating a bridge of pure energy between their ships. As they watched, the massive vessel began to transform, revealing technologies that redefine the possible. "This isn't a demonstration of superiority," Chen assured them. "It's an invitation. Humanity has protected the galaxy from the shadows for generations. Now we're offering to teach others to do the same." The stellar map zoomed in on a sector of space where 3 aggressive species were preparing for war. With subtle manipulations of quantum energy, the Archimedes showed how their conflict could be prevented without a single shot being fired. "We've developed technologies that make most weapons obsolete," Chen explained. "Defenses that can't be overwhelmed, communication systems that can't be intercepted, and peaceful solutions to conflicts that once seemed inevitable. But more importantly, we've learned that true power lies not in destruction, but in protection." Venza watched as the map shifted again, showing the countless civilizations humanity had secretly guided and protected. Each point of light represented not just a species, but a potential future that would have been extinguished without Earth's hidden intervention. "The galaxy stands at a crossroads," Chen concluded. "The age of predator species dominating through force is ending. Humanity is extending an offer to the Concordat: Join us in ensuring that the future belongs to those who create and protect, not those who destroy. As they approached Earth's main quantum defense grid, Venza realized that this wasn't just first contact with an advanced civilization. This was the beginning of a fundamental shift in the galaxy's power structure. Humanity hadn't hidden their advancement out of fear or weakness. They had waited until the perfect moment to reshape the very nature of interstellar relations. The true secrets of Sol weren't just in its advanced technology or hidden defenses. The real secret was that humanity had spent generations preparing to transform from hidden guardians to open teachers, ready to guide the galaxy toward a future where protection and cooperation replaced conquest and destruction. The Athraxian Gambit. The alert came without warning. Earth's quantum defense grid pulsed with new energy as hundreds of Athraxian warships emerged from hyperspace, their massive forms arrayed in attack formation. At their center, a vessel larger than any Venza had ever seen materialized. The legendary Athraxian worldbreaker, Terminus. Right on schedule, Captain Chen remarked, seemingly unfazed by the arrival of a fleet that could devastate entire star systems. The Athraxians never could resist an opportunity to demonstrate their superiority. The Aegis's observation deck shifted, the quantum-enhanced view expanding to show the full tactical situation. The Athraxian fleet had positioned itself just beyond Mars' orbit, their weapons charged and shields at maximum power. Your response to our earlier incursion was impressive, humans. The Athraxian High Commander's voice boomed through all communication channels. But party tricks and temporal games won't save you from the full might of our empire. Chen's reply was calm, almost casual. High Commander, your empire has spent decades trying to penetrate our defenses. You've lost 17 stealth squadrons, 3 invasion fleets, and countless probe ships. At what point do you start questioning the wisdom of your approach? The Terminus's weapon systems began to power up, its main gun gathering enough energy to crack a planet's crust. We've studied your capabilities extensively. Your temporal defenses can only affect small areas. You can't possibly protect your entire system from a coordinated attack. An interesting theory, Chen responded. Care to test it? The Athraxian fleet launched their attack simultaneously, hundreds of quantum-tipped warheads and energy beams converging on Earth's defense grid. The sheer volume of firepower was enough to overwhelm any known defensive system. But Earth's defenders had long since moved beyond known systems. The space between the attacking fleet and Earth suddenly crystallized, forming patterns that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Every weapon the Athraxians launched found itself caught in a web of intersecting timelines, each projectile and energy beam trapped in a moment of endless recursion. You see, Chen explained to Venza, as they watched the attack dissolve into harmless quantum potential, the Athraxians made the same mistake everyone does. They assumed we think about defense the same way they think about offense. The Archimedes moved forward, its fluid form rippling with new configurations. Around Earth, dozens of previously hidden installations activated, each adding new layers to the quantum crystallization effect. Humanity doesn't build weapons, Chen continued. We build systems that make weapons irrelevant. The space around Earth isn't just defended. It's been fundamentally altered. Physics itself works differently here. The Athraxian High Commander's voice had lost some of its confidence. What have you done to our weapons? We've introduced them to some interesting theories about quantum superposition, Chen replied. Your warheads now exist in a state of both having exploded and having never been fired. Your energy beams are simultaneously striking their targets and still being generated in your ship's weapon systems. Causality gets rather strange when you start playing with temporal mechanics. Venza watched in amazement as the crystallized space began to pulse with new energy. The trapped Athraxian weapons slowly dissolve, their component particles returning to their base quantum states. This is your final warning, Chen announced to the Athraxian fleet. Earth space operates under different rules than you're accustomed to. Rules we wrote after centuries of studying how reality actually works, rather than how everyone assumed it worked. The Terminus fired its main gun, the planet-cracking beam lancing toward Earth with unstoppable force. Or at least it should have been unstoppable. Instead, the beam hit the crystallized space and began to fold in on itself, its energy redirected through quantum channels that shouldn't have existed. Fascinating thing about energy, Chen mused as the Terminus's most powerful weapon was casually neutralized. It can't be created or destroyed, but it can be redistributed. Your planet cracker just provided enough power to run Earth's defense grid for the next decade. Thank you for the contribution. The Athraxian fleet's formation began to waver as ship after ship reported weapons failures. Every attempt to pierce Earth's defenses not only failed but strengthened them, the crystallized space growing more complex with each attack. Now, Chen's voice took on an edge of authority. Let's discuss the real reason you're here. Your empire's expansion has hit a wall. Your traditional methods of conquest don't work anymore because humanity has spent generations helping potential targets develop defenses you can't overcome. You're not here to conquer Earth. You're here because you're desperate. The High Commander's silence was telling. We offer you the same choice we're offering everyone, Chen continued. Evolution or obsolescence. Humanity's protection of developing civilizations isn't negotiable, but our knowledge is available to those who choose to grow beyond conquest. The crystallized space began to shift, forming corridors of stable space-time, through which the Athraxian fleet could retreat. At the same time, the Archimedes transmitted massive data packets to every ship in the attacking fleet. That's a small sample of our basic quantum mechanics research, Chen explained. Consider it a gesture of good faith. There's far more available to those who choose to work with us rather than against us. The Terminus's energy readings began to fluctuate as its crew examined the transmitted data. Venza could almost feel the shock rippling through the Athraxian fleet as they realized the true extent of human advancement. Your empire stands at a crossroads, Chen concluded. The age of conquest through superior firepower is over. Humanity has ensured that. But we're offering you something better, the chance to help protect and nurture the galaxy's future rather than trying to dominate it. One by one, the Athraxian ships powered down their weapons. The Terminus itself seemed to pause, its massive form suspended between aggression and acceptance. Perhaps the High Commander finally responded, "We should discuss these theories of yours in more detail." As the situation shifted from confrontation to cautious dialogue, Venza understood that she was witnessing more than just a failed invasion. This was the moment when one of the galaxy's most aggressive species began to realize that their entire approach to existence had been rendered obsolete by human innovation. A new dawn. 1 month after the Athraxian confrontation, the space around Earth had transformed. Where once humanity had hidden their true capabilities, now their achievements were on full display. The Aegis hung in high orbit, surrounded by diplomatic vessels from across the galaxy. Each had come seeking understanding, alliance, or simply reassurance about humanity's intentions. Science Director Venza stood in the newly constructed Quantum Exchange Center, her crystalline form reflecting the myriad energies that pulsed through the station. As the Concordat's appointed liaison to Earth, she had spent weeks helping various species come to terms with humanity's revelations. The latest reports are encouraging, Captain Chen said, joining her at the observation window. 3 more aggressive species have accepted our offer of technological exchange. The Drachnid Empire has begun dismantling their conquest fleets, and even the Shore Collective is showing interest in our defensive innovations. The space below them sparkled with quantum energy as another group of alien scientists experienced their first practical demonstration of human temporal mechanics. The station's teaching areas were constantly full as humanity shared carefully selected portions of their knowledge. You're transforming the galaxy, Venza observed, not through force, but through understanding. Every species that accepts your teachings becomes part of the protection network. Chen nodded, pulling up a holographic display of the galaxy. Thousands of points of light indicated civilizations now under Earth's protective umbrella, with more joining daily. We learned long ago that the best defense isn't a bigger weapon. It's making weapons themselves obsolete. The display shifted to show a sector where 3 previously hostile species were now cooperating to establish a joint quantum defense grid. Their combined efforts, guided by human teaching, had already prevented 2 potential conflicts. The Athraxians have been particularly surprising, Chen remarked. Once they understood our quantum mechanics principles, their entire civilization seemed to shift focus. They're already adapting our defensive technologies in ways we hadn't considered. Through the quantum-enhanced window, they could see the terminus, now transformed into a mobile research station. The former planet killer had become a symbol of transformation, its massive energy systems repurposed for scientific exploration rather than destruction. But something's still troubling you, Venza noted, detecting subtle patterns in Chen's behavior. Chen smiled. We're entering unknown territory. Humanity spent generations preparing to be the galaxy's hidden guardians. Being open teachers, guides, and partners, this is new for us. The responsibility is enormous. A new alert chimed softly. In a previously empty region of space, a massive structure began to phase into view. The Genesis platform, humanity's most ambitious project yet, was finally ready to be revealed. This, Chen explained, is our commitment to the future. The combined research facility, defense station, and teaching center. But more importantly, it's the first installation of its kind designed and built through collaboration between multiple species. The Genesis platform was a marvel of integrated technologies. Human temporal mechanics merged seamlessly with Concordat crystal computing, Athraxian energy systems, and dozens of other contributions. It represented something entirely new, a true synthesis of galactic knowledge. Every species brings unique perspectives, Chen continued. The Athraxians' understanding of energy manipulation, the Concordat's crystal-based computational systems, even the Shore's bizarre but brilliant approach to quantum entanglement. Combined with human innovations, we're achieving things that none of us could have managed alone. The observation deck filled with new holographic displays as the Genesis platform began its first major operation. The combined technologies created a quantum field unlike anything previously achieved, a protective bubble that could be expanded to encompass entire sectors of space. This is just the beginning, Chen said softly. For millennia, species evolved in isolation, then met each other as competitors or enemies. But look at what we can achieve together. The displays showed new data streams as the Genesis platform's field expanded. Within its influence, the very nature of space had been altered. Weapons of mass destruction simply couldn't function, while technologies focused on exploration, research, and defense were enhanced. We're not just changing the galaxy's power structure, Venza realized. We're changing the fundamental rules of how species interact. Chen nodded. Earth hid its advancement because we needed time to develop solutions that couldn't be turned into weapons. Now we're offering those solutions freely, but with a crucial difference. They only work through cooperation. Around them, the Quantum Exchange Center hummed with activity as representatives from hundreds of worlds worked together, learning and building on each other's discoveries. Former enemies now collaborated on projects that would have been impossible alone. The age of isolation is over, Chen declared. No more hidden guardians, no more solitary advancement. The future belongs to those who can work together, protect together, and grow together. As if to emphasize this point, a new ship emerged from the Genesis platform's quantum field. It was unlike anything ever seen, a perfect fusion of technologies from a dozen different species, crewed by a mixed team of former adversaries. That, Chen said with evident pride, is the first of the Unity-class exploration vessels, designed and built by a coalition of species who were trying to destroy each other just months ago. Venza watched as the ship began its maiden voyage, its hybrid systems working in perfect harmony. This was humanity's true gift to the galaxy, not just advanced technology, but a new way of existing. A path forward that replaced competition with cooperation, conquest with protection, and isolation with unity. The galaxy was entering a new dawn, and for the first time in its history, species were rising together rather than trying to rise above each other. Earth had hidden its light for generations, but in doing so, they had learned how to teach others to shine. As the Unity ship disappeared into quantum space, heading out to explore and protect, Venza understood that this was more than just a new chapter in galactic history. It was the beginning of a fundamental transformation, guided by a species that had spent centuries preparing not to rule the galaxy, but to help it evolve.